coming after Inyamiri people, you better pack your load. It's not just there. Nobody is going to ask you for your tribe card before they. So it's a concern that Lagos, after so many years, especially during elections, and politicians they like to stoke these tribal lines. When I went to my own state, one of the things they were talking about how the elections will go, how it would benefit us, and they were talking about tribe and religion. Oh, it's been a Christian that has been there for for a while, so we can come in and say it's time for the Muslims. Oh, it's been a period where so person from this local government has been the one there. So what we can do is we can bring our message, and so it comes. This whole problem comes from the politicians themselves, the contestants. The Godfather sell you this idea that okay, this man was from Ekbe, you are coming from Ikeja. So what we are going to tell them is, oh, we need someone from Ikeja because these Ekbe people have always been ruling. So when you start off with those kind of messages, eventually it gets down to this. And we saw chieftains of these parties just before the presidential election. We saw a chieftain of one of these parties going out to say that the Igbo people have benefited from Lagos, so it's time they also reciprocate. And when elections started and people felt,
what does that mean?
It's difficult to in this modern age to be thinking like that, especially in a place like Lagos where we are even trying to welcome people from the
outside
UK,
the
from
country
outside
and
the
the
country,
continent.
from, you know, and we still keep saying these kinds of things about our own citizens. I think it's something that has to stop, and it's from the politicians. It's not strange to them. It's not something they can come and make promises. If they are making any promises, it's because the threats that they've put out are working, and people are beginning to produce results. Like you can see the Igbo community now saying they will bring 2 million votes, which they don't have, by the way, unless they are trying to tell of the
those,
five.
those kind of statements.
You know,
I'm concerned about those kind of statements. You
Yes.
bring 2 million votes.
Yes,
Why would you be making such kind of promises?
you know, it's
For an election that's supposed to be free, credible, and fair.
yeah. Do they have, even if they had 2 million registered voters come from, why would they make those kinds of statements?
Yes.
We've heard it in Kano where Ganduje also said he would give Buhari 5 million votes, which we didn't see, by the way. But then we need to stop this. We've gotten past this level of tribal politics. We should have gotten past it anyway, but they keep dragging us back. But it's the politicians. It's not the leaders, the contestants. Let me put that word in. The contestants on all sides, they thrive on this tribal lines.
And how much, sorry, before we go on, how much work do you think the other candidates of, particularly Lagos governorship election, how much work do you think they are putting? I'm talking of the likes of Agbaje, the likes of Badamosi as well. How much work are they putting in?
I think Badamosi is doing as much as he can with the resources that are available to him. Complaints I've heard because I've reached out to them and said, okay, your campaign, what are you doing and how do you want to reach Lagos? Some of them have come here good enough because at least you guys provided a platform where they could just come sit and talk. But they complain about other media platforms, especially the out-of-home billboards and screens. They say that it's controlled politically. They can't put their messages out as much as they would love to. Even as finance is a problem, there's a problem of finance. But I think I've heard them come out to say that this tribal politics has to stop, that they are assuring people that they will make Lagos a livable place for both indigents and non-indigents and even foreigners, foreign citizens. They try to put out that message as much as possible.
In some other news, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, says President Muhammadu Buhari's tough decisions during his second term will be in the best interest of the country. The news agency of Nigeria reports. Now, Mustafa, who spoke to reporters in Yola on Monday, allayed public concern that the Nigerian economy could worsen during Buhari's second term. Now, the SGF described the president as a good man out to improve living standards in the country. He said when we came to power in 2015, about 27 states couldn't pay salaries. We had to take tough decisions like giving them bailouts. These are tough decisions. Now, what could possibly be the tough decisions that will be taken in the second tenor?
Well, Boss is doing a good job of making it sound like it's tough decisions that are going to be made in the next 4 years. The president said the next 4 years are
Because,
going
because
to be
Nigerians
tough.
feels already that the last 4 years has been tough. So how
Yes,
tougher
yes,
can it
yes.
get?
This is not the first time we are hearing this thing. Remember, in last quarter of 2018, the president had a meeting with some governors and senatorial aspirants, and he told them that the next term, the period that they are going into, is going to be harder. He said it, that things are about to get even harder. And Governor Yari, who was the head of the Governors Forum then, he came out and said, yes, the president said things are about to get harder. So it's not news. President Buhari mentioned it again in a meeting with some of the APC aspirants and other politicians, and he told them that things are going to be tough in the next 4 years. We know things have been tough already and things have been hard already, but now people are trying to spin it that he didn't mean that life is going to be hard for Nigerians, that what he meant is that he's going to deal with corruption, what he meant is that he's going to make hard decisions. But the man said what he said. He said things are going to be tough and he has the strength and he's prepared to go through that period. So let's let Nigerians look forward to a tougher time during these 4 years. I hope they prepare. And I heard like someone put it out there that about 6,000 doctors are writing an exam for practice in the UK. Those who can leave are leaving, but then for those of us who would choose to stay, or those of them who would choose to stay, let them get ready for tough times.
Speaking of leaving or staying,
Sorry, Bella. What do you feel about those who are clamoring for our borders to be open? I mean, what's your 2 cents on this? Do you think that will make any difference in our economy?
Well,
because I know that there are a few bans on a few things. I mean, economic goods. I mean,
yes. The thing is, these bans have not been supported by any other thing. When you ban shoes from coming into Nigeria,
and we
you
should
are
go into mass
supposed
production
to-
of shoes.
Yes, but then you are supposed to support production
Yeah.
of shoes locally. You're supposed to ask what the problem is. What I suggest usually is not banning, but increasing the tax on these things. Then the excess tax, when people are bringing in champagne, people are bringing all sorts of luxury goods, what you do is you put a high tax on them, because you know that people who buy these things, they have a lot of money to spend.
Yeah.
Then you take that excess tax you make and you try to support local manufacturers and say, oh, you who are trying to make local alcohol or trying to make local shoes, okay, here's the money, the revenue we've gotten from importers. Take this and try to grow your business and make the process as simple as possible. Give us power. Without power, we can't do anything. You know, definition in physics, one of the definitions in physics of power is the ability to do work. We cannot work without power. So if you say you just block the borders, people will just suffer unnecessarily. Smuggling will increase because even the borders you are blocking, you don't have the capacity to secure them. You end up randomly shooting people for no good reason. And at the end of the day, it benefits no one. But then, I'm not in support of saying, let us flood our markets with foreign goods. But increase taxation, use the excess tax you get to support local businesses. Then give us power. We're hearing that power has fallen down to about 3,500 megawatts or so. They said they were generating 8,000 as at January or so, and now it has fallen by 1,000 megawatts, has gotten to. We need power. It's been 4 years already, and the next 4 years we could end up with this same 3,500 megawatts.
Now, there's also been talks around Atiku, that's the PDP presidential candidate, deciding to quote unquote reclaim his mandate, and calls for him to not, go ahead with it. Now, according to the spokesperson for the PDP, Kola Olubodiyan, he said the party would align with its candidate Atiku in his quest to reclaim his mandate, following his decision to go to court to contest the outcome of the polls. They had a caucus meeting and they noted that the role of the military in the election in one way or the other contributed to that, and that they have resolved that they will report the action of the military through a petition to the UN as well as other global democratic institutions on the role of the military. They raised issues about harassment, intimidation, and cajoling of members on the plot by the presidency to intimidate the former VP Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and the result of the PDP to go to court by insisting, blackmailing, and saying that he should not go to court. They say they insist that their party and their candidates have resolved to seek legal redress on the stolen mandate. There seems to be some I'm getting a vibe of, you know, extreme some form of extremism here, right? Atiku is deciding by all means to go ahead with it, and it seems like, you know, the opposition is hell bent on not making him go through this redress.
People talk about Peter Obi, that he too, his mandate was stolen and he went to court and eventually he won his mandate back. I would, in a regular society where a president cannot just eject the Chief Justice of the country, I would say yes, go to court.
Right.
But one of the reasons we kept complaining about the illegal removal of the CJN was that it would affect the tribunals, the election tribunals, the Supreme Court, and, you know, especially after the elections. Now the elections have been held and the president has installed his own CJN, and what it means is that if you go to court and at the end of the day your case gets to the Supreme Court, you will be meeting with the people that the president kept there for you. So that's why I said Atiku should not challenge this thing in court. But then if people are advising him otherwise and they are succeeding in advising him to go to court, I wish something good would come out of it, but I don't see much coming out of it.
Our Lagos will come to you right now on the phone lines 0700 1051 1051 and 090991644403. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, turn on the volume on your audio set, and go straight to your point. Topical Issues, good morning. Good morning. Solomon, how are you?
Thank you. Topical Issues, good morning. Morning to you, Mr. Chris.
Good morning, Chris. How are you? All right, go ahead. Najib Bello. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good morning.
But
Does this in any way cause I mean, is it potentially violent?
Because he's going to court, which is the right thing for him to do, isn't it?
Yes, but then there are ways that the government can put pressure on him. And let's not forget that the president has removed the CJN. When we were complaining about this CJN thing, part of it was because it would affect the outcome of anything you go and do in the tribunal. So things are already skewed against him. From the very beginning, one of the things we noticed was that Atiku's companies, immediately he showed interest in contesting, Atiku's company, Intels, was having problem with NPA. NPA all of a sudden wanted to review his contract with them and try to reduce the amount he gets from there. That was going to affect his finances. So they have everything strategized. Before the election started, they had plans. So that's my advice. I'm not against court processes. I'm not against Atiku but then I believe he's wasting his
Because
time.
I just
in
feel
the
it's only
courts.
within that legal framework he can express his grievance and
Okay,
whatever. But
if he wants to go, let him go.
more
by.
calls this morning. Topical issues. Good morning. Good morning. What's your name and where you calling from? All right, go ahead, Daniel. Turn down the volume on your audio set, Daniel, please. It was the SGF. It was the SGF boss who said that. Go ahead, please.
President.
We should wrap up now, please.
Alrighty. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you very much, Daniel. More calls this morning. Topical issues 0700 1051 1051. Hello, good morning. Your background noise is not going to allow us to do this morning. Sorry, that's like at the bus stop or something. Topical issues. Good morning. Good morning. Your name, please. Kaude, go ahead.
Good morning. Yes. Oh.
On why the incumbency factor should be what? Could you go back a bit with your comments?
Yes, I kind of understand him. He's saying that those in government, yeah. Mm.
Thank you very much. Yeah, but my point exactly, if a man feels aggrieved and decides to use the instrument of the courts to address his grievance, why a cross-section of Nigerians advising him not to do that?
I think that's
Could it-
what the last
Could
caller
it
is
be
saying.
that because, I mean, in the build-up to the elections, there were lots of allegations that were, levied against Atiku, lots of corruption allegations, there were many different revelations that were also made.
Mhm.
Could it be that that's the concern of some people? If he's deciding to use this, use the legal system to, quote-unquote, to claim
You
his
see-
mandate, is there a possibility that maybe the corruption fight will somehow shed the spotlight on him?
For a government that has claimed to be fighting corruption all these years, if they had serious cases against Atiku, they would have used it against him long ago. What
He's not immune like like a former president.
But then, if there are no, he's not immune.
Okay.
He's not immune. But then the issue is there fairness in the courts?
Right.
Is there fairness waiting for him? We've projected these things and we've seen that the process may not be fair to him, and that's what the caller is saying. That being that the incumbent guy is the one ruling, he has some powers which he has expressed even before the elections by removing the Chief Justice. He doesn't have those powers anyway, but he used, God knows where he got his own powers from, but he did something and he removed the Chief Justice.
Right.
So the Chief Justice is the head of the judiciary, and you are going to the judiciary to seek justice against someone who can just do and undo in the judiciary. That's the fear of many people, and it will waste this man's time, it will waste his resources, and at the end of the day, it may affect the economy.
And so are we saying, I hear what people say by saying what they say for Atiku not to go to court. Are we saying one man now is is greater than our institution?
Well, that's how we've seen it now. That's what we've come to as a country. That's what we've been complaining about since the day the Chief Justice.
Because
was
already, as it is, with all of the statement coming, it's already like it's already injustice to Atiku as a person who wants to go to court to reclaim his money, whatever grievance he feels he has.
If there's another court he can go to, they said they want to go to the UN. I don't know what the UN can. Okay, the UN may be able to talk about the use of military, which we also complained about. We shouldn't be using the military to supervise or to secure elections
and this is largely because he was closest to the APC candidates with the number of votes.
Of course.
So yeah.
Of
Anyway,
course.
let's take your comments down on Twitter at City1051 and of course our WhatsApp number 0909-916-4403. Everlasting from Isolo says, I feel for Atiku because the FGN will ensure he spends a lot and still concede defeat at the end. It's best he let the situation be. Another one here says, one of the reasons why Atiku is being pressured against going to court is to avoid the kind of worms that could be opened at the tribunal. As such, will tag Buhari's victory a clearly illegitimate one. Michael from Ijushaga says this morning, why beg Atiku to concede defeat? Let him go to court and fight for his mandate. The president went to court every time he lost an election back in the day, says Abbas from Iyanoiba. The only solution to this ethnic politics being played across states is the replacement of indigenship in our constitution with residency. We have been so much divided on the guise of tribal politics. God bless Nigeria, says Emmanuel in Ejigbo. I think Buhari has made it clear that the next 4 years will be tough. Najib Bello has been my best analyst. I believe Atiku should leave the issue of going to court and allow God fight for him, says Ozigbo Emma from Isheri Olofin. Good morning, CDFM. I can't believe that the story at your desk, you decided to twist the statement of the president on the tough time story. I want to believe that you guess you have more, and I'm not sure what this is about, more and better information. Tony Ayo from Iowa, could you please resend this? I'm not sure.
I think he's saying this story about
the SG of Mr. Boss Mustafa.
Toughness. Yeah, I think he's saying that the president meant something else, which we have said here that the president doesn't mean anything else. It's other people that are trying to make it mean something. He meant that things are going to be tough, and he is well physically and mentally prepared to tackle things head on.
And things will be tough, on anyone who has some kind of
so I'm just wondering what's twisted about that.
Anyway, lastly, I guess on WhatsApp, Buharis Indigo demanding for 6 slots in Sanwo-Olu is laughable. The Igbos appear to be going too far. How many slots do the Hausas demand for? How many slots do Yorubas have in Abia, Anambra, and Imo State? As for Atiku's son-in-law being arrested for money laundering, the question is, did he commit the crime? We should stop the sentiment of witch hunting. What matters is the trial to be transparent. Atiku should go to court if he is not satisfied with the results of the election, says Samuel in Ikeja. And that's about all we have time for. Thank you, Lagos, for being a part of the show this morning. Najib, you have been awesome this morning. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We're back tomorrow, God willing. Do make sure, Lagos, that you're tuned in at exactly 7 a.m. right here for City Press and right after Topical Issues.
And by Chris, you have the award for the Gentleman of the Year. Congratulations on your award for being the Gentleman of the Year.
You are growing on these
Thanks
people.
to your listeners.
Lagos City, Nigeria, that's all on Topical Issues this morning. Breakfast in the City continues with me, Benny Ark.
And me, Bella Rosa Poggi.
Wilfred Morgan and the crew up next on Sports City. Good morning.
Radio station City 1051 FM.